There you go. Learnings. When did the S come onto that in the footy vernacular? We will take great learnings. We will take tremendous learnings. I understand it's plural, so there's multiple things you will learn, but it's become annoying. It's become one of those annoying words. We'll take great learnings. Stop it. Stop doing it. Anyway, I'm going to just say we are not going to take great learnings away from a round 19 clash against the GWS Giants at Marvel Stadium at 1:10. The curtain raises before Collingwood Essendon at the G, two traditional rivals. Given that Essendon are storming a little bit and they've got a new lease of life and they're playing really good football, but this is one has got a bit of a stench about it. In fact, I live in Werribee, man, and I have to watch this game from Werribee this weekend because my son's playing football on Sunday, so I'll have to watch it on replay. I'll be able to watch the start of it at home before I head over to my son's game at 2:20, so I'll catch the first half maybe. But this game has got a real stench about it, and I'll smell this game from Melbourne drifting over the roof at Marvel Stadium, and it will really block out that stench in Werribee. The Giants are cooked. They're well and truly cooked. They've well and truly put the cue in the rack. And I don't know what the hell we're going to learn from this game other than that we can beat up on weak opposition. And we've already seen that against the Eagles a couple of weeks back. We smacked them. So right here, right now, I feel like we are flat track bullies, and no disrespect, because I think most teams in their journey go through that flat track bully mode. Some teams sort of skip it, particularly the teams that steal a flag, like Hawthorn 208 and the Bulldogs 216. They skip that flat track bully in that year, and I'm just hoping like hell. It's like it'd be a fairy tale, I reckon, if we could do that. A 208, the Hawks did, and the Dogs in 216. It's, and I want to ride us hard right up until that, but I just feel like we're in the learnings, and there's this learnings this and there's learnings that, and we'll take tremendous learnings away. I just feel like that's become a little bit of the narrative, the storyline, the rhetoric. And I'm sure behind closed door and in the four walls of the football club that they are taking great learnings away from what happened against Geelong last week. But we weren't. Look, the learnings were we weren't good enough. We weren't good enough. We were somewhat bullied and intimidated. But we know, I think we could bully this GWS team, and I know they've got Toby Green and a few experienced players, and they've done a number on us in the past. But I think that bogey sort of thing with the Giants is gone after we beat them earlier on in the year on their ground. That's all gone, and they're gone. I mean, interim coach Mark Spike McVeigh, they had their spike, pardon the pun, under Mark, after Leon Cameron called it a day, and they started to play a little bit more offensively, got a couple of wins. They've only had 5 of the year, but they've been flogged the last couple of weeks. There's question marks on a lot of their players, where they're at. There's no Phil Davis. Kelly's not playing. Will Taranto be at the club next year? They've got to come over here. I think we'll wipe the floor with them, to be perfectly honest. So we're not fucking learning much about this game. We might learn a little bit about selection. We'll learn that Harry and Charlie can have a day out against potentially undersized and an undermanned defence. Although Keith and Taylor are, they're okay down back, but there's no Phil Davis. Our midfield might hit back on the fast track there at Marvel. We've got a pretty good record there. It's a real flat track bully type of ground. The old Marvel. We've seen Essendon and the Bulldogs go through flat track bully sort of stages there on that ground, and St Kilda for that matter. So I don't know. As much as I want to see us play, and I'm looking forward to it, I've got my eye on the Gabba. Okay, in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, whenever it is, and then Melbourne and then Collingwood to finish off the year. That's going to tell us a lot about this football team and what we have learnt, what we have really learnt, the learnings we have taken away. That's what I'm looking forward to. Not a fucking dead rubber, really, a dead rubber for the Giants anyway. They've got nothing to play for. We have plenty to play for, so we should really do a number on them. What I wouldn't mind talking about, guys, is a comment made by Sam Walsh, one of our vice captains, one of our leaders, with Jacob Wiedering, and obviously Cripper's the skipper, the sole captain. And it was a great interview on 3AW last night. I think he was interviewed by Jared Healy, Sam McClure, and I think it was Matthew Richardson. And they asked him about Michael Voss, our coach. And we all know about Michael Voss, particularly his playing career. And we know that he coached for a period of time. We know he went to Port Adelaide and he's now our senior coach. And he's only been in the job, not 12 months. And he's done a good job. Don't get me wrong, he's done a good job. Okay? To get us sitting inside the top 8 and being a really competitive football team. And although we were beaten comprehensive last week against Geelong, I think we were still relatively competitive. Okay, maybe that's where we're just at. But anyway, this is what Sam Walsh said about Michael Voss when they asked him what it's like to play under Vossie. He said, I was a Brisbane supporter growing up, and his prime was when I was very young. His presence, when he walks around the club, he has this unbelievable aura about him. You just feel the urge to play for him, Michael Voss. It got me sort of thinking about this team and what I've sort of noticed over the last, I suppose, since the bye and the live games I've been to, and our leadership. And I think it's a relatively young leadership group, okay? Obviously, Wiedering, 24, 25 years of age. Walsh is only 21, 22. Cripper's, 27, 28 now. Okay, but it's still relatively young, although Cripper's been in the role. One thing I want to see from this team moving forward, and it mightn't even happen this year, but when the aura about Michael Voss, I want to know if that really does exist with this group, because we all know what Michael Voss was like as a player. In my view, in what I've seen, okay, for a lot of football from the time I was a young kid, I can't ever recall a more combative, ruthless competitor, violent, exceptionally good player, unbelievable leader than Michael Voss, the player, who, mind you, had some pretty fucking ruthless coaches coach him in his time. And I'm talking first Robert Walls and then the great Lee Matthews. And when I heard Sam Walsh say that, his presence when he walks around the club, he has that aura about him. I sort of wonder what that means. And is that actually rubbing off on our group? Have you seen that really? I know we're competitive at the moment. And I know we've been described by Adam Simpson a couple of weeks as being a really honest football team, an honest football team. And maybe that's the first part of it. Maybe honesty is the first part of it. We've got to become honest, because I don't think in the past, okay, under Teague, under Bolton, we were a particularly honest football team. Although those two coaches would have wanted us to be an honest football team, but we were just not either capable or coached well enough to be honest. I hear that. He's got an aura about him, and we just want to play for him. It's a very powerful statement from your vice captain and someone of the calibre as Sam Walsh, who we all respect. We all respect. But I'm not necessarily seeing it other than being more competitive and being a lot more honest. And as I said, maybe that's just the first stage of it. So I want, obviously, all the other things we need to get better at, like ball use, decision-making, which has been a little bit of a problem in recent times, particularly when we are under pressure. But that should grow. But I want to see the next layer from my football team. And I know we will do a number on the Giants, just like we did against the Eagles. What does the next layer look for us? And what would I hope for under someone like Michael Voss? Okay? Would be this real physicality. And I know we're a contested football team, but this real physicality. And almost bullies, absolute bullies. I see it with the Tigers, and I think all dynasties have it. Through their leadership, and also through the next layer of players. I just think at the moment we are still a very nice football team, and I think it rubs off and it shows in games. It really does. And as much as I totally respect, and they're wonderful, combative, courageous players, Cripps, Kennedy, Hewitt, Chera, Walsh, the list goes on. They're all just very honest, relatively hardworking, good footballers, but don't necessarily have an intimidating nature about them. And maybe that will come, but I just don't see it at the moment. And it's something I want to see desperately from this football team. And if it means we go it against the Giants in some shape or form, in how ruthless we are, and I'm talking about a Joel Selwood. I'm talking about a Trent Cotchin. I'm talking about a Patrick Dangerfield or a Tom Lynch, or a Luke Hodge, okay, who had this nasty edge to them, a real nasty edge to them. And it didn't always come late in their career either. Again, I think to a certain extent, Cotchin, did he learn it or did he develop? Okay, but he did become this really intimidating presence for the Tigers through that period. I feel like we haven't got it yet. And it's something which, it hasn't disappointed me. But I think we all thought, I read a lot about it, that, geez, fuck, imagine this bloke under Michael Voss. Imagine what he's going to be like under Michael Voss. And maybe you've either got it or you haven't. You either got that in you or haven't got it in you. And I want to see it. I want to see it from someone. I think we sort of know that Stocker may have it, sort of. Or was it a bit of show with Stocker? I don't know. Who is it? We need one or two. We need three, maybe. We need 3 or 4 combative, half fucking volley, fucking loose units. And I'm not talking anything stupid. I'm just talking in your fucking face, because I just think we're still a little bit nice and a little bit of accepting of where we're at. And we're quite happy just to go along and learn and learn and learn. I'd love to know what Michael Voss thinks when he puts his head on the pillow at night, what he actually thinks. You know, and I go back to that comment that Lee Matthews made to that Brisbane side when they were struggling. And we're not struggling, but it's been an up and down second half of the season. There's no doubt about that. But when the mid-season in 2001, in Brisbane, with Michael Voss as captain, okay, they hadn't achieved anything yet. They were a team on the rise, but they hadn't achieved anything yet. They had had some really disappointing losses, and then Lee Matthews with that famous comment, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And I reckon Essendon can bleed. And he would have looked at those boys with those eyes. Is there still a place for that? Surely there's still a place. So if Voss has got that aura about him, if he's got that aura about him, and these players honestly believe that, or they're just saying it, is it just rhetoric? Or is Michael Voss essentially just a nice coach? He sounds nice in his press conferences. I'm sure he can give the players a spray. But from that moment on, the Brisbane Lions, they went on to win 3 flags in a row. They smashed Essendon at the Gabba, and they just went on an absolute journey. And it's I don't know, in-your-face type players. Your Ackermanis, Voss, the Scott boys down back. Yeah, I feel like we're nice boys. Yeah, we're nice boys. Tell us how you feel. I reckon we'll smack GWS. We'll fucking pull their pants down. But how do you feel about us at the moment? Am I off the mark? Or are we just a little bit too nice and sweet and respectful and humble? Catch you soon.